This is Papa Brad. Welcome to the Evercadians, a show for fans of the Evercade.
Brad, man, since we were last on the show, you are now a proud owner of an Evercade VS Founders Edition.
I know, I'm an Evercadian now.
Wow, welcome to the club.
Man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Evercadians number one.
Number
What's going
one,
on,
baby.
everyone?
So we're gonna start right off. We're gonna jump right into it. We're not gonna waste any time. First topic: why the Evercade? And I'll go first, and then we'll just go around the horn. You know, there's a lot of things that the Evercade is doing right, and one of the things that I like is I've always liked physical media. I've always been into Atari and collecting cartridges, and I just like the moves they're making, and I like that they have curated collections of games, and I'm excited to get into Evercade. Um, and that's kind of I also like that they're coming out with an arcade, which is pretty cool. I think. How about you, Brooklyn? Tell me
Why Evercade for me,
why
Brad?
the Evercade?
Why? So many
Why the
people ask
Evercade,
why, and
Brooklyn?
I can
Why?
answer why. Some things that you said, Brad, physical
Mhm,
media. It's so great because we're very familiar with a lot of these games already.
mhm,
And you always hear, well, you can play these games anywhere. So why do you want to play them on Evercade? Number one, physically holding that cartridge in your hand, having a booklet inside, and seeing like some of your favorite classic retro arcade games like physically in your hand,
mhm.
where it would be so hard to get some of these games on a physical cartridge, or you'd be spending so much money to do that. Just being able to acquire stuff like that, and like you said, curated collections. Uh, you may buy a cartridge because you love a few games on it,
Mhm.
but they kind of group games together that make sense, and you always find a hidden gem that you would have never known about.
And you're gonna
Another thing,
discover games that you would have never played, right?
yes,
Let's let erbwars have a chance to speak.
I'll let
Why
Herb go 1 second. One
okay.
last thing, Brad.
Yeah.
Another thing, even though you can play these games in a million places, I find myself playing it more on the Evercade because I'm not sitting there for 2 hours
Looking
sifting
for a game.
through a random list of games. I have the stuff,
Limited
one or
selection.
two cartridges, depending on what I'm playing on, right in front of me. And I spend more time enjoying the games than flipping through thousands of them to figure out what I want to play.
Mhm. So you're kind of locked into that game list. Okay, why the Evercade? Why should people be interested in the Evercade or Wars?
Well, first off, it's very affordable. The cartridges range from $20. The $25 ones are the new ones coming out. There's games on there that you don't normally see on other collections. Yes, you can get them in other spots, but you can own them physically. A lot of these homebrew games, never released Atari games, have come to the Evercade, and it's just a great way to discover some games that aren't so popular on this cool little niche system. And it's really cool how it's blown up because I've been here since the beginning, and it seems the past year or so it's really been blowing up, and I really love seeing that.
Okay, awesome. For me, it's also about the fun of collecting. I mean, it's a limited amount of things you can collect, and
For sure.
I think the collectability of it is really interesting. Um, and all the things that we were talking about, physical media, and I just like I've been watching Evercade for a long time and thinking about kind of jumping in, and I feel like now's the right time because I like I mean we have Toplin 3 coming. I love Toplin, so like I feel like they're bringing the kind of things that I want to play.
Now that's
So
an example, Brad. Now
mhm,
you and I and Herb definitely were all very familiar with every single game
every
that's
game on
coming
there I
out on the
played
Toe
like a
Plan
ton.
3
Sure.
cartridge, but you
I
still
arcade had them
have
all.
that
Mhm.
excitement for it.
Yeah, but it's going to be a whole new group of people that have never played these games before, and that's the exciting part. And I think they are curating really good lists of games. Um, so my that was the first topic, just why the Evercade. And this channel will only be Evercade. There'll be nothing else on this channel but Evercade content. And the show will probably be every 2 to 3 weeks, maybe as long as a month, but it's not going to be like a weekly show. Um, but we wanted to just do an Evercade only channel because we're interested in it, but we feel like we had enough content to put on one channel, didn't we, Brooklyn?
Yeah, and I could say also, like, not to confuse anybody, the
Mm,
show is, I said 3, it's actually streaming on 4 channels tonight.
yeah.
But eventually once
Monetize, it will go to just this
the
channel.
Evercadians channel starts getting more subscribers, this will eventually just be
The only
exclusive
place
to
to
that
watch
channel.
it. Yeah. But for right now, we're just trying to make sure that people actually get to see the show. And so we're just multi-streaming it. The Evercade Alpha. Okay, we'll start with the positives. What are some positives that you all feel about the new Alpha? I know I ordered one. I think everyone here has ordered one. I think one person might have ordered two.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you ordered two. Who ordered two? So I think we'll let Herb start us off. Tell me what
He's
are some
worse than me.
positives.
The positive is we're all collectors. We're into this hobby. They're desktop. They're not as big. They don't take up as much room, and they come with the Sanwa. Well, if you got the what is it, the alpha or the
The
upgraded
deluxe.
versions,
Yeah.
the
From
deluxe versions,
stock.
they came with the Sanwa controls, and the exclusive games was really the reason I picked them up. And because I'm a huge collector and I want to have the complete collection, that's why I had to go with both. Uh, that's why I picked
That's
it up.
awesome. I want to read this comment here from Ian Hobbies. He said, Evercade, because we are reliving, purchasing, and collecting these awesome retro games in the era of the internet and loving the engagement with like-minded folks. That's one thing I want to say I really love about it. It's the simplicity of you just put a cartridge in, it works. It's like going back to, for me, all the way back to like almost the Atari. I mean, I know when I put that cartridge in, it's going to work. And that's
No
exciting for me.
updating.
No
Nothing, Brad.
updating.
You can enjoy it at home.
Does not need to be connected to the internet to work.
Yeah, you kick back, enjoy it at home on your big TV. If you're on the go, you got your handheld, you can bring it with you.
Yeah.
If you don't want to bring your handheld, you want to just have something small to shove in your pocket. There you go. You got your Hyper Mega tech. You can bring that with you. So there's so many ways to enjoy the game.
100%. It's also the affordability, like erbwars was saying. Basically, I just bought the original Evercade because it was only like $6 more than getting the cartridges. So I got the original Evercade as well. But I mean, it's not that something that's real expensive to collect. It's not really cost prohibitive. But and the thing is, since you're buying the cartridges, you're gonna go slower, and you're gonna play each cartridge and check out some games. You're gonna find some games you've never seen before. I know there's all kind of games, and I think it's kind of cool because aren't they from England? They from the UK?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like some of the selections of stuff are just stuff I've never heard of. Because of course we're from the United States, so I think some of the picks are kind of cool.
Yeah, like the Oliver Twins collection. That's a perfect example of games that were very renowned in European countries. We didn't know as much about them, so it's great to be introduced to those. And that's a cartridge that I'm really enjoying. It's a difficult cartridge at this point to find at a reasonable price, but it's stacked with those Dizzy games. So it was a great introduction to that series.
Yeah, and and the UI is really great too. It's very slick. It's very streamlined. It reminds me of Netflix, because it's very clean. To take the time says agreed on playing games I wouldn't have tried. Radio Latoy says you appreciate the game more. And choice paralysis is real, 100%, Jason. Like my iArcade, I probably have over 1,000 games on it easily. And it's just so much choice. Like when you can literally play everything, sometimes it's too much, it's too overwhelming, and that's why I collect stuff like Ataris, because I can if I want to simplify things, I can just put in a cartridge and but I've always enjoyed collecting things, whether it was comic books. I've been through so many phases. There's so many things I've collected, but I like the collectability. To me, that's one of the exciting things. Like some people are like, some of these cartridges are expensive, but I think that's cool. That's one of the cool things about the hobby is that you're collecting, and so, maybe you're one of those lucky people. Maybe you bought 3 Oliver Twins, it's a collectible item.
I don't think the cartridges were ever meant to be as expensive as some of them are getting. Going back to Herb's point from early on is that, Erbwars and I have been into Evercade pretty much since the start. Erbwars even before me.
Now you have a
So
complete
so
collection. You
we
have all the cartridges,
so we
right?
those
So does
cartridges were
Erbwars.
readily available.
Mhm.
As it started to gain popularity and some of the cartridges weren't available anymore and people want to get a full collection, that's where you get people online that could pretty much price them however they want, because people out there are going to buy them. They're just, at this point, some of them are becoming really difficult to find. You
Mhm.
if you check every day, you do see some people will eventually get lucky and maybe be able to find some of
Yeah.
the difficult cartridges to
I
get
think
at a
it's
reasonable
not
price.
really that different from like collecting Nintendo. There's certain cartridges that are grails, right? I was it Little Samson is one of the ones on the NES. It's like really
Yep.
because it's just hard to find. Maybe they didn't print enough, but most of the cartridges are still readily available and affordable. It's just a small group of them that are when what do they call it, legacy, when they're not making them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I wouldn't even be surprised if you start seeing the OG handheld and like the VS, the original version,
uh,
start shooting up in price within the next
They
year
already are.
because they're moving on to the VSR and the
yeah.
EXPR.
Well, Rob Cat says Evercade is also great for hitting different categories. People like different types of games, arcade games, puzzles, platformer, shmups, and fighting games. Like for me, like when I saw that they had two Toaplan collections already, like I love shmups. So like, that now they're getting they just announced a third, which I think is great. But that's what I'm looking forward to. Finding some games that I haven't played before that are kind of the hidden gems. So
Well, the same with the indie games that they bring to the console. They
mhm.
get buried on Steam. You bring it to something like the Evercade, and it really spotlights some of these games that you might not have seen through a library like Steam, which is
Yeah,
cool.
half
Like,
these games you would never even find them. So you put your cartridge in, you flip through, eventually you try everything. You may find some that you don't like, but I've never found a cartridge where the
There's
whole thing was
nothing
a
on
bust
it,
for me.
right?
I've
Yeah.
always gotten enjoyment out of every cartridge I played.
Okay. So let me go to our next topic. Let's see what the next topic was. Second. Okay, we're gonna start at the basics. Papa Brad is new to the Evercade. I'm not as new as I was when I started, but let's start with the basics. Okay. There are three different types of cartridges, right, Brooklyn?
Yeah.
What are the three colors? Can you tell me
So
tell
you
me
have
about the
like,
red? What's the red?
well, you had the kind of
Red
like
color.
maroon. Those would be the
What
console
is this?
collection.
See how
Those
it's
are
red?
console collection.
Okay. So all these are red. And tell me about the numbering. Is that when they
So
were released?
each No, so each collection
Mm-hmm.
has numbers. So it doesn't, depending on the color of the cartridge, you have numbered collections for that specific category.
Okay.
It does not necessarily mean in the order that it came out, because you
Okay.
might have a purple cartridge that came out, but
Oh, we're talking about red. Brooklyn, you're taking over. We're talking about red. Just tell me about the red. So these are all console games, right?
all console games.
Okay. So then we're gonna pull. This is the purple cartridge, and these are all arcade games.
Yes.
Now the cool thing about the purple ones, there's only 10 of them. So immediately I collected all 10. That
Well,
was like,
12 now coming.
well, two coming, but what I'm saying is like currently today, if you wanted to collect them all, you're basically looking to get 10 cartridges. And it didn't take me no time, and I had the group of 10.
And a lot of those used to come packed in
Mm-hmm.
when you bought the system. When
Yeah.
I bought my original VS, it came with 4 cartridges. When I got my EXP, my limited edition, it came with 2 arcade cartridges.
Yeah. And the thing I found out, the numbers are different for each one. So like the 1 through 10 is all just arcade games, 1 through 10.
Yes.
And then the console games, I don't know how high it goes to, what the highest number is, but they're also numbered. And then erbwars, do you have the tell us about the blue cartridges. So 3 colors: purple,
so this is the
red, or
home
blue.
computer, the home computer line. Is the blue one.
Mm-hmm. Is that Commodore 64?
Yeah, this is the Commodore 64
Okay.
Collection 3.
That's the
So
latest on that.
yeah, that's the latest. That's the Peggy version, just to make Brooklyn mad.
I like the
Okay.
Peggy versions.
Okay, what does that mean? Like, because people saying Peggy, what does that mean? Explain that to people that don't know. Like, if you were just coming in, I don't know what Peggy means. People are saying Peggy. I'm like, what is that? Is
That's
that
just a
someone that works at?
rating.
Is that someone that works at Evercade?
It's just
What is
the
Peggy?
rating system in European
Okay.
countries. Like here, we would have E for
Yes.
everybody, T for
Okay.
teen, M for
So
mature.
you're talking about like
ESRB.
this
Hmm.
green thing on there. No, you see it? Now that means it came from England, right? If it has the
Yeah.
green
Most of my
Yep.
cartridges have that because I get most of my stuff through Fun Stock.
front stock.
Because
Okay.
Fun Stock gets it to you like before anybody else, it seems
And
anymore.
you'll notice the cartridge itself too even has like a green. If it came from Funstock or from the UK, it has the green logo on the cartridge, which is pretty neat. So I'm learning all this stuff, Brooklyn. I'm learning all this now. One of the things I really like about the cartridge, I just want to zoom in on a cartridge real quick. One thing I really like is like the cartridges themselves. Look how cool they make them. Like they have the brand, like Toplin, and then they have cool artwork. So, and this is printed on the cartridge. This is not a sticker, which is I think is pretty neat.
I would always get worried putting the cartridge
You
into
can
my
see it good.
consoles that it was going to peel
Mhm.
the sticker off of the front. But if you
Yeah.
look at it closely, it's actually recessed down. So they
Yeah,
thought
it's like
about that.
it's like
So
inset.
it
It's
doesn't
inset
rub.
just a little bit, yeah, so it doesn't rub. Okay. Ichabod says Peggy Bundy. No, the Peggy is the rating system, but you can tell on the cartridges because they have the green squares. And I guess you know, it seems like all these titles for the most part that I've gotten. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen the Duke Nukem one. It's probably a different rating, isn't it? Like this one
Depends
says
where you ordered it from.
okay.
If you got it from Amazon, it might be ESRB, but if you got it from Fun Stock, it'll probably be Peggy.
Okay. So let's see.
In
We
other
have
words, Brad, it makes absolutely no difference. But
they play the same. It doesn't
maniacs
matter.
like me and Erbwars will possibly try to get two of them. Like
Oh
I
my
have two
goodness.
Oliver twins. I have North American and I have the Peggy.
So the completionist. I mean, there's two different ones. But the thing that's funny is the cartridges they're not region locked. So
No, it's exactly the
they're
same.
not region locked at all. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter whether it is the Peggy or the American cartridge. Elio says he tries to collect the American carts, but he does have some pegs. Okay. Welcome to the stream. Is that Gene Joke? Did I say that right? I hope so. Correct me if I'm wrong. Welcome to the stream. So we're learning about Evercade. We got 3 different colors. We got purple, red, and blue, depending on what they are. Purple is arcade, red is console, and blue is computer. Okay. Okay, we're going to talk about the new carts. You want to watch a video first? We'll show one video, then we'll talk about all the games on it, what we think of the game of the cartridge. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
I have the videos preloaded. Let me get the first one. Let's start with, Papa Brad's going to be gushing over this one. We know which one I'm going to start with.
Dude, I was so excited. Like as soon as I saw that, I immediately messaged you.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
This is
So
like
Plant
my
3?
wheelhouse. Like right away, I was like, I mean, this is why I'm getting into Evercade.
Peggy 7.
So that was obviously the Toplin collection. Favorite game in the list?
That's
Is everyone going to Batsugan? Everyone's going to
Yeah.
probably say Batsugan.
You know what? I'm actually
Final and
excited.
last shmup of all
Yeah,
time.
but I'm excited to just play the non-SP version, which
Yeah.
is the
Yeah,
one
it's
I
cool
always
they give
play.
you both.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is cool that they give you both.
Yeah,
And
I'm excited to play the non-SP version too, because we had the SP version on the iArcade, which is an upgraded version, but it'd be cool to have the original. And of course, my favorite game of all time, Truxton 2, is on there.
yeah, and
That's one of my
Truxton 2,
favorite shmups. That is a legendary shmup.
unlike
if you're into that genre.
unlike a lot of shoot 'em ups from the arcade, that is a long and punishing game. Like
Yeah,
it just
I've looped
keeps
it.
going
I
and
was
going
with you.
and going.
You remember you
We
were
did
with
a
me when I
full
looped it.
playthrough
We did
on
a
my
full
show.
run all the way through.
I think Gox is going to be a new one for a lot of
Mhm.
people. I mean, I've beaten Gox, That's a great one. It's a paddle game with enemies. It's almost like, you know, that toe plan style. It's like
I
it
think,
has that shoot 'em up style, but
yeah,
it's a
people are
paddle
going to be
game.
blown away. I mean, like Outzone, like every game on this cart is fire.
Yeah,
I mean,
Outzone is
We
great.
it's
we
a great
streamed
cart.
Outzone together, didn't we, Brad?
Yeah, we
Didn't
did.
we?
We did
Yeah,
back when
that's
they
a great
first
game.
enabled online, and you know, it's just you know, I mean, I can't say it enough. This is like the definition of a day one purchase must buy. I mean,
This
for
is
me,
probably the
like,
best cartridge.
yeah, I mean, for the arcade collection, I mean, this is great. So that was pretty much the Toplin cartridge. Any other games you want to point out in the list?
They're all good. I mean, you can't go
They're
Yeah,
all
wrong with
good.
pretty much any of them on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's
And I
definitely
just like that they have respect for toe plan and those legendary shoot 'em ups.
yeah. I
And
mean,
sure.
if you love shmups, it's I mean, it's the ultimate.
if it introduces it to a, you know, a new generation of people that have never played these games before, you're in for a treat.
I think they purposely made them vertical because they're trying to sell that new grip that they're coming out with,
Mm.
and to play it on Tate because this cartridge is going to go great with that grip when they introduce
Oh
that. I
yeah,
don't think it's out yet, but it
yeah. That's
looks
the
really
thing I
cool.
like too. Like another thing, going back to why Evercade choice affordable. You got handhelds, multiple handhelds. They got, you know, the Verse console where you could play it on your TV, sit on the couch and play, and then they've got a little miniature arcade. I think it's pretty cool. I like that they're giving you a lot of choices.
Well, we have more choices, Brad, because we also have a Data East cartridge coming out, another one
I know. Let's check that one out next.
with
No,
even more games.
Ian says, Ian Hobby says, I only play Batsugan on my Egret Too Many. Getting it on the Evercade will be such a treat. More folks can play Batsugan, the better. Yeah. And this is one of those
Absolutely.
games that nobody knows about, but after you've played it, it's like it's great, you know?
It's the bridge between retro and modern shoot 'em ups. It really was.
I feel like I spoke about that game so much on the iArcadians. I mean, I love
Yeah, it's like we're
that
so
game.
familiar with these games.
Absolutely.
It's like we're already very familiar with them, but it's going to be a whole new audience playing them, which I think is going to be great. Okay, so the
And
next one we're going
handheld.
to look at is that was called the Toplin Arcade 3, and then now we're going to look at Data East Arcade 2. Let's take a look at this list of games.
Peggy 12.
Okay, so that was the Data East selections. I mean, for me, the Edward Randy, the cliffhanger,
Yeah.
I mean, that for me is the hidden gem. Like when people start playing that, they're going to be blown away.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just huge
It's
action
such an
pieces from start to
amazing
finish.
game. And I think like it's completely underappreciated. Like it's the definition of like a hidden gem. Like it, you know, it's just great. You know, you have the battle with the whips on biplanes. You know, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy.
Awesome. So
Dare I say Super Burger Time even better than the original Burger Time.
I love Super Burger Time, and you could play two players. You could play two players at once with Super Burger Time, which you couldn't do in Burger Time, right?
Yeah, the Western game they showed on there, I have it up on my arcade right now. We played that one. That's a difficult game, but I had a lot of fun
It is.
playing that one.
It is. How about you? What are the standouts for you? I mean, for me,
Same
it's
as you guys. I mean, yeah, I mean, I remember playing that when it
they
came
don't
out
call
on
it
the
the cliffhanger,
iArcade.
but the Edward Randy cliffhanger
For
is the
sure.
arcade classic that a lot of people don't even know about. Just
Yeah, that
like
was a great game.
I could
Yeah.
tell you one that's not a standout for me.
What's that?
Peter Pepper's Ice Cream Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
is
can't
brutal.
stand that game.
No,
Dude,
the thing about
that
it,
game is impossible.
it's just a really tough old school arcade game.
There's
I do
tough,
agree.
and then
the
there's just
difficulty is
rage quit after 5 minutes. I can't even get past the first level on that, and I've tried multiple times. It's just insane.
yeah. Let's see. Let's see.
I
we
like
got
Crude
Matt-
Busters too.
Crude Busters is on there. Yeah. Something that Evercade has not done yet should be considered send-in support. They're licensed out there for lots of value light gun games. No other consoles using this tech right now. Maybe.
That you have the USB plug-in in the front. So,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
we found that you know, if you put the white border up, you can pretty much play Sinden on anything.
On anything, yeah, because it scales automatic. The gun is smart; it scales to whatever that border is. Remember when we were playing Operation Wolf, and I had a multi. I could
You were
point at
going dual screen. You
screens.
were going from one
Well,
screen
dual
to the other.
screen, I would just switch to a totally different screen just to show
Yeah, and it
how
just
seamless
picked it
it was.
up.
Incredible.
So it's just a matter of probably integrating that border into it.
Mhm.
And I don't know if there'd have to be some sort of firmware through Sinden, but it could definitely work.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have enough games out there to do that, or if it makes sense to them, because you have to like think about it. Like then they're saying, okay, if you're putting out a cartridge that's going to have light gun games on it, how many people are you excluding that don't have it?
Yeah,
Now,
that's
if
the
they
hard
came
part.
out with their own peripheral, their own kind of Evercade light gun, maybe it would make more sense.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that'll ever happen. But I did play Operation Wolf today on the Super Pocket, and surprisingly,
It's
it
very
runs
playable. I know it's
and
very
it's very
playable.
playable. Yeah.
Very playable. I was surprised too when I played it. I thought there's no way you can play Operation Wolf on the Super Pocket, but that's
Definitely,
actually pretty
obviously not as
playable.
good as a light
On the
gun, but
light
on a
gun, but
that
it's
little tiny
totally
screen on the
playable.
go,
Yeah.
it was still a lot of fun.
Gene Joke says Trio the Punch is so bad it's good. Now that's one I haven't played.
I've never played
never
that one.
Once
played that
again,
either.
like I'm surprised. Like there's an arcade game I have not played on there, so I think that's pretty cool. That'll be something new. But I like the list. I would say the two. I would say the Toplin for me is a little stronger as far as the games on it, but I think they're
For
both
sure.
good cartridges. I'm certainly going to pick them both up. Rob Cat says has been looking for more Evercade coverage. Most of it's been overseas. I'm enjoying this. You guys actually get Evercade. You may well help more people discover the goodness of Evercade, and that's really all we want to do. Just talk about the games. And the thing that's kind of cool about Evercade, it is kind of a slower, like you don't have to do like a weekly show necessarily, right? Because stuff comes out kind of slower. And we all have YouTube channels, so we're all
I covered it on my show as well.
Yeah.
But we cover a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, on the Friday Night Arcade Show. And I'm on a show, Arcade Talk. We all have other shows we do. And we do talk about Evercade a little bit, a tiny amount, but I really wanted to make a place where we could all just get together and just talk about Evercade and put content for Evercade if we wanted to. I got Gregory popping in. Good to see you, Gregory.
What's up, Greg?
We did not talk about the negatives of the alpha. I'm trying to follow up my notes, and I realized we skipped that. Negatives of the alpha for me. The main negative for me is it doesn't have HDMI out. That's my number one critique. Is like, what do you think is the negative? Like, the things I like about it is obviously, it's going to give people good arcade controls to play their games. Even the cheapest model will have good controls. They're talking about using SAMWA clones like what iArcade did. And they're offering the SAMWA, the real stuff, for a little bit more. But as far as negatives, the only real negative I can think of is it doesn't have HDMI out. What do you got?
There's another one. I would say a missed opportunity is not being able to link two of them together. And so, like erbwars is going to have both. How great would that be to have it either back to back or side to side, and two people can link up and play play a game against each other in that way. I know you could do it
Like
by connecting in a controller, but that would be a great way to do it. With the
'cause
HDMI
some people
out,
will buy two of them anyway. Some people will buy two of them,
the
I
HDMI
really
out
wish
is
they would have put all the games on each one, though. Like, if it would
Yeah.
have been cool if you could have had a Mega Man and a Street Fighter and put them back to back, and then you could play the games versus each other on both of them.
yeah. And
But
on the
that's a lot to
HDMI
ask.
out,
It's like double the games.
that's kind of a miss, mostly also for like YouTubers, because we like to show off the products and we like to play them, compete against each other. So it's the best representation when you could just run it right into your capture card. It's better for when you're doing videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
However, I do understand why they don't have it. We are going to be able to play certain cartridges that we couldn't play on a VS or anything that does
like the
have
Namco
HDMI
card,
out.
right?
Now, they could have potentially did something where, if it's a game that is that they don't have the license to go through HDMI out. Maybe those games would just turn that off. We've seen that done in the past.
Yeah.
Um,
Like Sega did that with IRK with their licenses.
but again, and also think of it as a business point of view. If you have the alpha and it has 2 cartridge slots, it's got HDMI out, you're kind of like killing your business now for the VS.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking that too, but the thing is, the more people you have playing, the more users you get playing, probably the more cartridges you're going to sell. So, I mean, I think it's kind of a mixed bag on that. What do you think, erbwars?
I think the only negative I could really think of might not be a popular opinion, but the fact that they're releasing both of them at the same time seems like they might have shot themselves in the foot.
Should have staggered them, done like maybe Street Fighter or Mega Man,
and then
for 6
down
months,
the
then
road.
release another one 6 months down the road.
For sure. I mean, because they're not as cheap as the rest of their products. So I mean, they are used to serving like a cheaper base, So,
and that is a big thing. A lot of people get sticker shock. We don't, because we come from home arcade. We have, people that have not seen me before. I have an entire arcade room where I have all kind of arcades. So we come from home arcade. So I immediately thought, well, that's a reasonable price for what they're offering. I mean, they're giving you good controls. Samwa clone buttons are real Samwa buttons. They're giving me 2 cartridge points, 2 cartridges. They're giving me a really good screen. And I like that it's small because it's pretty much portable. I mean, it's a small self-contained system that doesn't rely. It doesn't have to connect to the internet to turn on, It's like there's something cool about these things that are more simplified, It's going back to a simpler time. To me, that is a strength of Evercade, not a weakness.
As far as also what erbwars says about them putting them both out at the same time, I think the deluxe, what it should have been, obviously Sanwa controls. That's a given. But the deluxe should not have been a Mega Man skin or the Street Fighter. It should have been an alpha skin, and it should have had all of the games from both of them.
I agree.
In one, and been like a real special edition.
I mean, I would pay $30. I would pay $30 more bucks.
I would pay whatever more for that.
I mean, just
that
make it
awesome.
Go to 11. But I mean, it is the sticker shock. Like, you got to remember, like, they're hitting a much higher price range, and I think we're coming at it from, like I said, being in home arcade, so we see it as being very affordable for what you get. But probably in the UK, this is a pretty premium item. For a lot of people, apparently, from the feedback I've read, so I have been trying to follow it. Gene Joke has an interesting point. He says he doesn't know a staggered release might frustrate people if they bought the Mega Man, then 6 months later the Street Fighter one came out.
That's true.
What if they announced?
I think I don't think they
both of them and then done this still had a time gap.
I think they're just giving people choices. So a lot of us, because I just like the mix of the games on the Mega Man, and I'm not as big as just playing a bunch of Street Fighter games. Obviously, Final Fight, I'd love to have that as well on the Alpha, but it gave me a choice. So I don't think they're out there expecting everyone to buy both of them, and I would not be surprised if these are not the last alphas that we see, because we don't know what's coming down the road.
We don't know what
kind of licenses they're getting. Yeah. I would not be surprised if we, in the future, start seeing some more alphas popping up with different built-in games.
I mean, of course, we'd like to see like Konami or Sega, but we know from home arcade, those are really mega expensive licenses. So as much as we might want that to happen, I'm not sure if that will happen. I mean, it would be cool. Would you buy even like with the smaller ones, I think like Sega and Konami and probably SNK, right? Metal. Can you imagine if they had a Metal Slug?
That'd
be cool.
Like a red themed one. I mean, we're just speculating.
One that looks like a Neo
little
Geo,
tiny little red Neo Geo. Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't? Even
though you can already get that with the MVSX, I still want that.
Yeah,
I think
just keep buying the same thing sometimes.
it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of, outside the box though.
For
But
sure.
so there's a lot of things they could do with it. As far as that.
I think the alpha is great for all Evercade owners, even if you have zero intention of ever getting one. Because if you love to have these arcade collections, now there's a reason for Evercade to start pumping out more of them. So even if you're not going to get the alpha, you could still enjoy all these great arcade collections that are probably going to be coming out. As you can see, we already got 2 more. And I think that that's a direct result of the alpha coming out, because those cartridges are dropping alongside with the release of the alpha. So we can expect to see a lot more arcade cartridges. We still have 4 more cartridges to be announced. Evercade put out a post that they're like, of 3 of them, people are going to get, a lot of people are going to be getting what they asked for. So what that is, we don't know. A lot of people ask for different things, but they did, like, one of them is going to be more, I think, of an out there type cartridge, like some of the stuff Evercade does. But out of the next 4, 3 of them are going to be stuff that the community has been asking for.
Yeah, I like the indie cartridges. Like I've just opened those, and I'm really enjoying the indie collections they have. They have 3 different cartridges with indie games, and of course that's another reason. Like when we go back to the beginning of the show, why Evercade? Why now? And one of the things I like is that they support independent game producers. The indie cartridges are great. Got a lot of good games on there. So. But
and like erbwars says, like, try finding some of these games in a physical form.
Yeah,
you get a whole cartridge full of them for $20. I see some of these games that do have a physical cartridge going for $60-$70 and up, just for the one game.
Donut Dodo.
I picked up a physical of Donut Dodo.
Yeah, on the Switch.
That, see right there, like you could see, like Evercade knows, like, the good games out there.
Yeah,
we all knew about Donut Dodo since the day it came out. We knew how great that was.
Donut Dodo, get us a Circus Interstellar in the next indie.
That could happen. I don't see why that game is definitely.
I would highly recommend
great enough quality. I think the Evercade community would love that. Finding that game.
Yeah, it's like a combination of Doom and Berserk, Hey,
don't you think they could have put Donut Dodo on an arcade cartridge? I mean, it's on a retro
modern arcade game, for sure. I mean,
that's the only way we knew how to play it, was on an arcade types, setup.
Yeah.
So the game is awesome.
But anyway, I do like that they're supporting, independent, great independent games. And it's a curated collection. Like you get the games on the cart, you give each game a try, and you're going to find some you really love. I think that's pretty cool. So, okay, the next thing. Brooklyn, should I give away a cartridge?
That sounds good, Brad. What do you got in store?
I'm going to give away a cartridge right now.
Good thing Brad didn't say, hey, Brooklyn, can you give away a cartridge? Because I don't know how happy I would have been about that.
Let's see here.
But if Brad wants to give one away.
Yeah, I'm giving one away. It's still sealed. I'm giving away Indie Heroes 2. Brand new. Sealed.
Nice.
And we're going to do it the fair way.
Let's go tapeworms on there.
Yes, it's got some good games on it, man.
A lot of great puzzle games on there.
And for our first show, we'll give out the Indie Heroes 2 cartridge. If you'd like to win the cartridge, I'm going to use a giveaway tool. Put hashtag Papa Brad with a space. I'll type it in the comments.
erbwars, you can't enter.
I have them all. I'm good.
No, you already have 10 copies.
Hashtag Papa Brad.
I have a feeling that Ettensoft might already be in talks.
Now here's the thing, Brad. Because I would love everyone who's watching to have an opportunity to win. Is this going to work if they put this in on my channel?
I don't know. I've never done this before.
I don't think it's going to collect. Maybe it will.
It says Team evercadians, Evercadians episode 1 live stream.
Brad,
I
how are
think any
you
of the ones
chatting
that
as
are out
me
there.
on my channel? I think you're logged into my YouTube
No,
channel.
Yeah, you are.
no, we do all of. No, I'm logged into all 4
Oh, okay.
because it's one stream, so it'll collect from all of them.
Yeah, I can never get into an issue with Brad now. He can delete my whole
I
channel.
know. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. You're safe, Brooklyn. You're safe.
See my family there in the chat. Another brand new Evercade owner. He's just waiting. He ordered the EXPR and the VSR.
Full sealed. Good luck, gamers. Hashtag Papa Brad. And you will just we went full. Papa Brad went all out. I even made a
Nix is not even trying to win.
no. Let's see.
He
here.
does not want to start a new addiction.
No. If you do win, email Papa Brad at evercadians@gmail.com. And
So we are clear. Richard Deli got a space.
Gotta have a
I
space.
think after the
Papa
hashtag.
space Brad.
So re-enter it in without space.
Yeah.
So this is it populating from all the channels since all the chats are going through one
It
StreamYard?
should be, yeah. It should
All
be.
right. You'll probably know if you see
It
how
should
many
be.
people are entering.
Yeah. Well, we should see quite a few. Let me. Oh, actually, I can look at the tool, can I? Hold on a second. Brooklyn Menace. Maybe I can. Can I share the screen? Let me see. I think I can share the screen. Let
Yeah,
me
you can
see.
share it.
And then I do this. See, did
Or
it come up?
collecting comments.
Okay. So I have the tool open. Start collecting comments.
Yeah, let's see how many it starts to collect.
Okay, so it
Yeah, I
says
think
we
we're
have.
good.
Yeah, I think it's all connected. We have 14 people that have entered.
Awesome.
So it's actually collecting them from no matter where you're watching from. So we got 14 entries. You have a 1 in 14 chance of winning. Indie Heroes number 2. And just email me and I'll get your address and I'll ship it out.
You know what? If you win it and you don't have an Evercade and you want a really good entry point, grab yourself a Super Pocket.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, the Super Pocket's great, man. It's basically a consoleized Evercade for what, about $60?
I have the limited
Pretty sweet.
edition pack and I don't want to open that. So I just grabbed the title one that I don't care about, taking with me.
Yeah, I love
And-
it. Like, I mean, I've been playing that way a lot because it's so portable. You can just throw a couple cartridges with you, and you got lots of gaming to go.
Right. I found the
Take it
best
to
way
go.
for me to play it. I keep my contacts on and then I put my glasses on over my contacts, but only stare at the screen and it's crystal clear.
Yeah, the screen is sharp.
It's very sharp. I didn't realize it was that
I
sharp
was
just
surprised.
looking
You
at it
can
with my
even,
contacts.
You can even play like Cathedral. Like, there's a firmware update you can do to it.
Yeah.
And you can play all the games.
Yeah, I
pretty
updated
cool.
mine
I was
right
playing
out of the box.
Cathedral on it.
When you do update it, it sometimes will take like 3 or 4 times before
Yeah,
it
it's kind
kicks
of hit
in.
and miss until it
Yeah,
hits.
it's
Oh,
very
I-
hit and
I-
miss.
I figured out why though, because if you have that iArcade mod on the PC, it
There's
detects
other
that rock.
firmwares you've pushed. Yeah.
So you have to. I had to do it on my wife's computer, and it worked fine. That's why
Yeah.
it wouldn't work.
Because we're all hackers. We know we all love to hack stuff. All of our stuff's hacked. Yar! Bunch of pirates. Okay, so. Okay, let's do it, man. We got 15 people ready to roll. I'm going to leave it up so we can
Roll
see
it,
it's
Brad.
fair. Here we go. Good
Let's
luck,
see who gets
gamers.
it.
The winner is.
Papa Brad.
How
better
am
not.
I
Oh,
in
then
there?
we'll roll again because I typed in Papa Brad. Hashtag Papa Brad.
My family.
My
Oh,
family.
perfect, man. Like I said, brand new Evercade owner. He has both coming
Evercade.
next month, and now he
That's
has
awesome.
one more game to add to the collection.
Congrats.
That's awesome.
I was
That's
sending him recommendations, and he was just like, "Got it."
awesome. Okay,
So
well,
he's gonna be ready to
my
go.
family. You're going to be getting a brand new copy of Indie Heroes 2. Put that to the side.
Nice.
Okay. And our next topic is recommend a game. Is the next topic. Recommended Evercade game. You have to tell the game, but you also have to tell what cartridge it's on. So you need to tell the game and what cartridge you would have to play the game. Okay. So who would like to go first?
I can go first.
Okay. Make it
Pick,
full screen. Hold on.
there's so many I could pick, Brad, but I'm
no,
just going to throw this out there. First
pick
ever Evercade cartridge that was a single game, cartridge number 32. Right here, we got Full Void. This is the limited edition version.
Wow.
This one's a little hard to find right now. This one, they did the cartridge in blue. It came with a full color book.
Is that the first
the
single game cartridge?
This is the first ever single game on an Evercade cartridge.
Wow.
First time
So
they
it's
ever
not
tried
a compilation.
I think it was a success. The game does not take that long to beat. You'll get stuck figuring some stuff out, but I blew through it in one night in 2 sittings. But the thing is I enjoyed every moment of it. They did a really good job on this game, and I recommend people picking up that cartridge. You could get the standard edition.
Yeah.
Now easily available.
Yeah, I would get
It's a
the
good
standard
time.
edition.
Couple of hours. You
That's
may even
probably-
want to go
that's
through it a
probably
second
super
time because
that's probably a very collectible game now. So if
there's-
they do have the standard edition. It's like
there's
18
little
bucks in
Easter eggs
Canada.
in the game, and at the end it lets you know the ones that you found.
Mhm.
So it kind of makes you want to go back and find the stuff again.
Okay. How about Herb Wars? What's a game you'd recommend in a cartridge that you'd have to have?
So I'm recommending off of Pico Collection 1, number 9, Water Margarine. It is a beat 'em up game, kind of like Golden Axe. It's like an older, like 90s game that was actually never released until I think 2015. It wasn't originally released on Sega, and it has some cool power-ups and really cool music. And it's not a very long game, and especially if you're using, like if you have kids and you're busy and you need to use the save state feature on the Evercade, you'll blow through it in no time.
Okay. Awesome. So what's the name of the game again? I'm sorry.
Water Margarine. I believe
Wa-
it might be on Act Games as well. I'm not sure though.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, there's 2 beat 'em ups on that cartridge.
Okay. And y'all know what I'm gonna pick. Y'all know because I already put a video.
Does it start
on-
with a T?
It starts with a T. Of course, I'm gonna pick. Look at that. TH Thunder Hoop 2.
Oh, all
TH
right.
Takes
Nice.
Back. Did yours come with a cool card like this? I got cards in with my
Yeah,
cartridge.
yeah, they
Yeah.
come with.
I was
Sometimes the
surprised.
cartridges
I
come
opened
with a
up the
bunch of
box.
goodies.
There's
You get stickers.
There were goodies inside of here.
I opened one the other day, had
It's
playing
like
cards
a little
inside.
cardboard poster for Thunder Hoop 2. This is like one of my favorite. Like this is as far as hidden gems. This is a game like it's just so cool. You can't imagine until you've played it. I mean, you have fireballs shooting out of your hands.
Great game.
It's a great game.
It is a good game.
I do have a video on the Evercadians channel. This was probably one of the first produced videos I did because I love this game. But this is on Galeco Arcade 2. And they have Thunder Hoop 1 and 2. I never played Thunder Hoop 1. But I'm going to recommend Thunder Hoop 2 for my first game. Of course, it's an arcade game, and I think it's a masterpiece. So if you haven't checked it out, that would be my recommendation of an Evercade game to check out. Okay. So that was pretty much a show. What's everyone get? I'd like to thank everyone for watching. What does everyone have going on? Herb Wars, do you have anything special that you're doing right now on YouTube or?
No, man. I just like to watch everybody and support all the channels and all the tournaments. That's what I'm really
Yeah.
into. Is I'm really into watching everybody's tournaments and
Mm-hmm.
doing my best to participate in all of them. But there are a lot out there.
Yeah, well, I'm doing a lot of pinball tournaments, so you're always welcome to play in those. And if
Sure.
you're not subscribed, tell them about your channel, Herb
I'm
Wars.
just
'Cause I think a lot of people might not know, but you do a lot of really cool retro gaming content.
Yeah, I'm like a collector enthusiast. Just mess around on games. And like I said, I don't really do very well produced videos. I'm just a guy that sits in front of a camera and talks about gaming.
I love your videos. Don't sell yourself short. You're great. So that's Herb Wars on YouTube. Brooklyn Menace. Want to say
I
a
do
little bit about your
the
channel?
Friday night arcade show every Friday. That I decide to do it 10:45 p.m. But next Friday is definitely going to be something completely different. I may actually start the show earlier. It is going to be together, all in the same room. Will be myself, Kev Gret from the Rexa Show, Ichabod
right.
Crane, and pretty much confirmed as of today. I was chatting with him. Glenn from GRS, Glenn's Retro Show, all together, chilling out in the same room doing the Friday night arcade show next Friday. Look forward to that.
Yeah, it's
And I
fun.
look forward to doing a bunch of live streams
Oh yeah,
from Too Many
That's
Games.
right.
We'll be there for 3 days.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I look forward to hanging out with those guys. And we will have an iArcade in the hotel room. So
iArcade,
we
wow.
will be able to game on the show that night.
That is awesome.
We're
That's
coming
awesome.
prepared. Ichabod's bringing the iArcade. I'm bringing the case of beer.
There you go. You got the beer and you got games. Of course, I'm Papa Brad. I have multiple channels: Papa Brad's Gaming, Papa Brad Live. I'm on a show called Arcade Talk on the Arcade Talk channel. Running some pinball tournaments right now. We're running 2 different pinballs. We're running
South Park is one of them.
South Park, and we're running Wipeout on the At Games. So come join our tournaments, Arcade Talk pinball tournaments. And I just want to thank everyone from we made it. We made it through our first show. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And I'm going to send us out with our music. Does that sound good?
Yeah, thank you everyone that showed up to watch the first episode. Make sure to subscribe to Evercadians. It's just Evercadians.
Mhm.
Subscribe to the channel. Eventually this show will be exclusive on there. First couple, we probably will do
Yeah.
these
Until we're
multi-channel
monetized, we're
streams
gonna
just to bring
multi-channel
some, more eyes to the show.
Yeah, a
But
bigger
eventually it
footprint.
will be all exclusive on Evercadians channel.
Yeah. Just so more people get to see it. And thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, everybody.
Dude, I'm ready to play some Evercade.
I know. Let's go.
Sure.
This is Papa Brad. Welcome to the Evercadians, a show for fans of the Evercade.
Brad, man, since we were last on the show, you are now a proud owner
Man,
of an Evercade VS Founders Edition.
I know. I'm an Evercadian now.
Wow, welcome to the club.
Man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it.